next Congress?
Well, here's the deal. He was going to seek power and seek to take it no matter what. We saw how he attempted to handle things the last time he lost an election. He called down to the governor. This is a guy who does not care about the rule of law whatsoever. So the fact that we're actually fighting back, I think that does matter. When you look at the approval ratings of the Democratic Party, part of that isn't because of our policies, it's because of a lack of fight.
Hey guys, welcome back to True Voice. I'm Andrew, and today we need to talk about one of the most jaw-dropping political moments we've seen in years. What went down live on TV between Donald Trump, Ivanka, and Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett wasn't just a clash of personalities. It was a turning point, a crack in the so-called Trump dynasty that Republicans can't just sweep under the rug. Let's watch.
Not very much, except for the fact that there's a clear violation of constitutional rights at play. To have a party claim to be the party of law and order as they are federalizing law enforcement in D.C. And at the same time, clearly violating the Constitution, whether we're talking about these maps that they're trying to implement, as well as simultaneously violating the Voting Rights Act, or if we're talking about taking the body of persons who refuse to be coerced into signing an agreement saying that someone can basically stalk them and watch their every move. This is something we have not seen in modern day democracies. In fact, this is not something that we see in democracies. And I really don't care your political affiliation. You should be concerned. Now, a lot of people look at Democrats and say, well, Democrats would never do that because they're the good guys. I get that. But this is a dangerous road to travel down. And I do applaud those in California that said, if you want to play with us, we will play back. And right now, Kevin Kiley in California, I'm sure he is so enlightened, maybe because his seat is on the chopping block. But the representative is begging the Speaker of the House to actually bring his bill to the floor to stop mid-decade redistricting, more so because he wants to save himself. He still has not said anything about Texas.
When you listen to Texas Democrats, they'll say this is a success, what we did, because it brings national attention to this issue. But when you look at the broader map of the entire U.S., I wonder if that attention is going to matter when Republicans clearly have the advantage when it comes to controlling states and having single party control. There's 15 states the Republicans have that to Democrats 4. Is that really enough that it brought national attention when that broad map could hand power to President Trump in the next Congress?
Well, here's the deal. He was going to seek power and seek to take it no matter what. We saw how he attempted to handle things the last time he lost an election. He called down to the governor. This is a guy who does not care about the rule of law whatsoever. So the fact that we're actually fighting back, I think that does matter. When you look at the approval ratings of the Democratic Party, part of that isn't because of our policies, it's because of a lack of fight. So at a very minimum, we are going to have to overperform. We have been overperforming ever since he's been in office. And that is one of the scariest things. They can draw this map whatever way they want to. I have a feeling that they're still not going to get 5 seats out of Texas. I know that that is their plan. But the reality is that when you look at somebody like a Henry Cuellar won his seat while Donald Trump won that seat by 7 points. So I know that there are Democrats that know how to overperform even when they draw these maps these ways. They always thought that they were going to have Vicente Gonzalez's seat as well as Henry Cuellar's, and they have beat back the odds. I don't think that they won't necessarily beat back the odds this time. I can tell you that we are finally getting some investments into Texas because of how they are treating us, especially in a state that is a majority minority state, a state in which we have seen how he has handled immigrants. And so I think it is going to be interesting. I think the backlash is going to be even bigger because he decided to do this. And at the end of the day, you don't have to worry about California. You can stop this right now if you just say, hey, we will stop in Texas because California doesn't go into play unless Texas does. It is a trigger. But as it relates to Indiana, he's probably not going to get that one. The state law is probably not going to be very helpful for him in Indiana.
You commend California for responding.
I do.
And you call what Republicans are doing in Texas cheating.
Yeah.
And yet the appearance for some looking at California with the response may also be that California is cheating.
People can say what they want to say. But at the end of the day, we are fighting for democracy. This is not something that California wanted to do, as you heard from the state senators in California. This is something that they feel forced to do, something they feel obligated to do, because in a democracy, you have to answer for your policies or your lack thereof. That is what democracy looks like, where the power belongs to the people. They are trying to take the power away from the people so that he doesn't have to answer for his failed policies. If he believes that his big ugly bill is just that beautiful, then go sell it and go win the legit way. But we know that they cheated to get the majority this time. If you will recall, when we look at North Carolina, as soon as they ended up with a Republican majority in that Supreme Court, what did they do? They decided to take their map from 7-7, which is pretty much what the state of North Carolina looks like, and instead they added an additional 3 seats for the Republicans. So now it's 10-4. Well, when you look at the voting, nothing looks like 10-4. And they only did that once the Republicans took control. Do you know the difference in the Democrats and Republicans controlling the House? It was 3 seats. So the Republicans, they are cheaters all day, every day. But we have never tried to match their energy until now. And I applaud it.
Now let's set the scene. Trump and Ivanka walk onto that stage, thinking it's going to be business as usual, polished lines, recycled talking points, and the same old smoke and mirrors they've been selling America for years. But Jasmine Crockett, she wasn't there to play along. She came armed with receipts, real documents, real evidence, and she put it all on the table for millions of Americans to see. Trump turned red. Ivanka froze. And the best part? They weren't just dealing with Crockett's words. They were dealing with their own past catching up to them. You could see it in Trump's face. For the first time in a long time, he was rattled. Then came the hot mic moment. Trump snapping at Ivanka, "You told me this was buried." Folks, if that doesn't sound like guilt, I don't know what does. And let's not forget Ivanka's whisper. Asterisk that already know, daddy. Asterisk that's the kind of line you hear in a political thriller, not real life. But this is America in 2025, where corruption hides in plain sight, and sometimes it takes a fearless woman like Crockett to drag it into the light. And here's the truth. Republicans can scream witch hunt all they want, but you don't go into meltdown mode if there's nothing to hide. You don't panic on live TV unless the walls are really closing in. This is exactly what Democrats and progressives have been saying for years. The Trump brand is built on lies, shady deals, and privilege. Jasmine Crockett just ripped off the mask. As a Democrat, as a patriot, this moment matters. Because it's not just about humiliating Trump or Ivanka on live TV. It's about accountability. For too long, the powerful have operated like the rules don't apply to them. But Jasmine Crockett stood up and said enough. That's courage. That's leadership. And if what she's hinting about Jared Kushner is true, then we might be witnessing the beginning of the end of the Trump-Kushner empire. Finally, the receipts are out there, and the American people deserve to see every last one of them. So, family, here's the bottom line. Jasmine Crockett didn't just check the Trumps, she exposed them. And this isn't just a scandal, it's a reckoning. The question now is, will America hold them accountable, or will we let another political dynasty slip through the cracks untouched? I know where I stand. What about you? Drop your thoughts in the comments, make sure you're subscribed, and share this video so the truth spreads faster than their lies. This is True Voice. I'm Andrew. Stay loud, stay proud, and never stop demanding accountability. Because the fight for truth is the most patriotic fight there is.